So y'all heard the phone call. I'm not going to bother going into the local office because there's something real fishy about that today's call where she was pretending that she couldn't, that she's trying to tell me that they have no updated address. I know damn well I called last week. You heard that call. He said, "Oh, we need a new address for you." Gave him the address. He didn't say nothing about you need to come in and reapply and fill out more forms and we need to do a medical and blah, 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 blah. Which, yeah, I get. And I think it's a little fishy because I know they're watching my social media and I kept saying they never did a medical exam. So I guess they're probably working with the Boston office and the local office because we know in Vermont they're running the same scams as Missouri. This local Vermont Social Security office is illegally awarding Social Security benefits based on the falsified records created by the doctors and nurses and Howard Center and the homeless shelters and victims advocates and so on and so forth. So now they're like, we got to hurry up and cover our ass, cut off our benefits, and then we'll do a medical exam and make sure that we say that and they're going to cover they're basically going to lie in these records to match whatever their bullshit about that huge swollen lymph node full of cancer being a lipoma. Well, first of all, that ain't going to happen anytime soon. That takes weeks. So, I don't think that I think this is all I think they keep moving the goalpost. Oh, and you can't apply, don't bother coming in unless you have a current picture ID. So they know what they're doing. They're being spiteful motherfuckers. I've been receiving these benefits for 10 years. 9 years. So, well, almost 9 years. Be 9 years in November. So 8.5 years. Now all of a sudden we got a court date coming up in June. So my guess is this was all done they know they're working with Lance at the post office. He knows my post office box is due on the 31st, and they did away with the 10-day grace period. So if you're not paid on the 31st, you lose your post office box. And the new application for a post office box is more difficult. I probably wouldn't. Right now I'm grandfathered in, so they're doing a whole lot of fuckery here. So I was going to call Becca Ballant, and I probably will call her office tomorrow. But I'm also going to send an email because a lot of these nuances and the sabotage, that's a lot of detail. They're trying to make sure I don't have a mailing address. Of course, now I have to you got to have, of course, they changed the rules at Social Security, so you have to have a picture ID when you change anything. They're just, probably thinking that, she doesn't have a P.O. box and she doesn't have any money, she's not going to be able to buy whatever she needs to survive cancer. That ship sailed, y'all. Koozie makes sure I have everything I need. I don't need to order anything through the mail. And I'm damn sure not going to die from the cancer between now and June 9. That's definitely not going to happen. Other than the damage that was already done, from the renal failure, I've been asymptomatic on the cancer for 6-8 weeks. So, if you're hoping I'm going to drop dead sometime between now and then, all you're doing is showing your ass. For those of you in Epstein's cartel. So I'm just going to wait and deal with it. I'll send everybody the email that I send to Becca Ballant, I'll CC it to Jacuzzi and the victims advocates at Sarah George's office and the mayor, and probably Officer View, and then we'll just let whoever's going to be at that. I mean, it's not an official court date, because when I'm subpoenaed to testify at something, the sheriff delivers you the sheriff visits you and hands you a subpoena. This is just an officer writing down a time and an address on the back of his business card. So it's not like I have pending charges, or I'm going to be, subpoenaed to testify at some. That's why I'm thinking, I'm not sure what they're doing. That's why I'm thinking they're just going to get me deposed and then take action from there. But either way, I think it's real suspicious that they decided to first of all, they moved the goalpost just from last week to today. Last week, the dude says, we just need a new address. Give him a new address. And then he sends me over to the, the survey, to see how the call went. He didn't say shit about you need to come in and reapply and yada, yada, yada. Call today, oh, well, there's no record of that call. We don't have no Burlington address, and that may be a lie. She may have been lying to me about all of that. So, yeah, the whole thing is suspicious. So that's why I'm going to not just call Becca Ballant. I'm going to email her, and it's going to go to all the criminal investigators. Which technically I should be receiving some sort of work comp or victims compensation from Chad Cronin, because he launched the damned investigation. It was mandated and then tried to kill me, as he promised, because his father's involved in the damn scams, as is himself and all of his wealthy Epstein allied clients. His work comp insurance probably wouldn't, or malpractice insurance wouldn't cover it, because what he's doing is deliberate. It's I'll probably be compensated through the victims fund, but he's going to have to reimburse Social Security all that money, and him and his wealthy allies, including the Arms family, the Pomerleaus, BlackRock, they're all going to get tapped for this shit. Not only the damage they did to me, but everybody else. So anyway, I'm going to be applying a sign pretty much every day, because I do want to keep that post office box. In case, like Mimi likes to send me cards. It's not that big of a deal. I can tell her not to send a card. If she's going to send anything, send it before. The court date's on the 9th of June, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. And I'm sure Lance can be dealt with for making sure that the grace period of 10 days was no longer respected. So I'm really not too worried about it, but I'm going to go ahead and fly and try to keep my P.O. box. I will need a refill of meds in about 2 weeks of my blood pressure meds in about 2 weeks. So I will have to pay for a visit, and that all has to be done through my debit card. I guess I could get a local bank account, but I'd have to raise enough money. So I'm just going to start raising money that hopefully will cover a local Vermont ID, and I guess I can raise $100 and open a local bank account and then call Sesame and change. But then it takes 2 weeks to get your debit card in the mail, so it's just easier for me to send the money to Missouri. Because even if I open a new bank account tomorrow, which I couldn't, because even if I went down to Vermont DMV and got a state ID, unless they print it right then and there like Florida used to do, it's going to be a while before I get the actual, of course, they give you a printout, so that works. But when you go to the bank and open a new bank account, it usually takes a while for you to get your debit card. So I would have to open that bank account this week in order to get it next week, in order to have a debit card to give Sesame to pay for my visit on my refills. So unless you guys have a plan after the 9th, once I testify, getting me to a doctor who can take care of all of that, hopefully, and do a physical exam just to document all of the very physically obvious signs of stage 4 cancer that was delivered, and then it was accelerated because these scars from the open wounds from the cancer in the lymph nodes all over my shoulders, back of my arms, and from the tunneling, that's old. You can see that's been there a while, so that means the cancer was accelerated. Plus you've got all the medical records that show from the CAT scans and blood work and all of that. So let me know what's up, but I'm gonna have to fly every day because I gotta eat, gotta have just general stuff. I gotta do laundry. I know I stink to high heaven. So, and they've got a whole new army of people they've hired to troll me in the homeless community. And I'm just keeping an eye on them. So I'm not going to name them all. I'm not going to photograph them all. Some of them are keeping their distance. I'm not going to be putting them on I'm not blasting all of them on social media because I'm trying to get them to run their mouths and give it up. So anyway, that's what's up. Thank you for your service. It's been an honor and a privilege to assist y'all.